The presenting sponsor for this year's Gala represents an industry that has recognized the importance of being a proactive partner in addressing the challenges of resiliency and sustainability. Our sponsor for the third year in a row, the Cement Association of Canada, represents an industry that creates critical infrastructure for communities and is taking measures to reduce its environmental footprint and to advocate sustainable solutions. I'd like now to invite to the podium, please welcome the President and CEO of the Cement Association of Canada, Mr. Michael McSweeney. Michael.
Thank you very much, Don, and good evening, environmental defense champions, ladies and gentlemen. As many of you know, this is the Cement Association of Canada's third year as the presenting sponsor for the Environmental Defense Gala. Thank you. And as I was reflecting on this evening, it struck me how much the mood has changed over the past year. Last year, this room felt defiant as environmental defense and other environmental groups across the country continued to weather unprecedented attacks on their charitable status. And I know many in this room, including environmental defense, those threats still remain real as we speak tonight. But I think there's lots of room for optimism. For me, great events last week, Sun TV went off the air. Will no longer wholesome, and the Cement Association be subject to rants by Ezra Levant at supporting events such as environmental defense. John Baird resigned. For me, that was a personal one. I was getting, awful feedback from him, Rick Smith, if you can believe it, on all my tweets from the Broadbent Institute. He just couldn't figure out why we would be supporting the Broadbent Institute. He couldn't figure out why there's a problem when 1 in 5 children in Canada live in poverty, or why we have an income gap, and what the problems are that are responsible for that. And today we had the Great Lakes Protection Act, a wonderful third time is a charm, as they say, event. But I'm most optimistic because last week, Premier Wynn's government, through Minister Murray, initiated the most important and overdue conversation we can be having right now here in our province. Glenn, and when you said it, we need to have an adult conversation about climate change. And I know I speak for many in the room when I commit to you that when it comes to leading the conversation over the next year, we've got your back. Our environment and our economy needs a price on carbon, but this is just part of the solution. We need to think in entirely new and more integrated ways about how we plan, build, and power our communities. Innovations that we have yet to imagine may be needed to keep our planet below 2 degrees of warming. At the same time, putting climate change at the forefront of political and policy decisions will allow us to see environmental, innovative, and economic opportunities that are hiding in plain sight, all the while maintaining our competitiveness, which is still at a fragile state, and ensuring that we don't enact policies that will just leak GHGs to other jurisdictions which have fewer environmental regulations. Through innovation, our sector has reduced its GHG emissions by 15% since 1990. It's a start. We've done so on a voluntary basis. To go further, we've asked the Premier and Glenn Murray to help us reduce our coal use. Imagine having to ask to reduce coal use. And in recent months, they delivered with a new proposed regulation to facilitate low-carbon fuels in cement productions. Once passed, this regulation will help our sector further reduce greenhouse gases by up to 400,000 tons per year and keep hundreds of thousands of tons of non-recyclable waste from going to landfills. And we're prepared to do more, much more, to help Ontario be the leader on climate change in the world. Our new cement, Contempra, reduces greenhouse gases by 10% compared to regular cement. In Ontario, replacing regular cement with Contempra could reduce another 250,000 tons of greenhouse gases per year, and all at no cost. One of the most cost-effective ways to reduce GHGs is to take account of the full life cycle and environmental impact of buildings and transportation infrastructure projects. When you use more durable materials, infrastructure doesn't deteriorate as much, and we don't have to spend money or energy to repair it. MIT studies show that pairing concrete's thermal mass with good design and affordable technologies can reduce energy use in buildings by over 80%. In the transportation sector, by using fewer fossil fuels, and asphalt, make no mistake, is a fossil fuel, and using more concrete pavements, we can improve fuel efficiency by up to 7%. We can lower the urban heat island effect. We can even reduce street lighting costs by 22%. You know, it's pretty hard trying to make concrete sound sexy. But these examples are self-serving, there's no question, and shamelessly so. But they credibly demonstrate that our industry, taxpayers, and our economy as a whole can thrive in a carbon-constrained world. We are all better off when we use the concept of building it once, building it right, and building it to last. Now, 2015 is an election year, as Elizabeth May knows, and it's an opportunity for everyone in this room to make a real difference for the environment. As we speak, we have passionate individuals like Aaron Freeman, who has spent time with both environmental defense and in government, and who is establishing Green PAC, a new nonpartisan movement that will build environmental leadership and awareness in Canadian politics. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the year to step up our game, to step up your game. I would be remiss if I didn't single out the tireless efforts and resilience of groups like Environmental Defense, Tim and your team, and your boards of directors and volunteers. Equally important, getting where we need to go. Glenn, getting this province to where it has said it wants to go will not be possible without the support and work of Environmental Defense. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a toast to Environmental Defense on their 30th anniversary, to what we can all hope will be a turning point in Ontario's journey to a low-carbon, resilient, and prosperous future. To Environmental Defense, thank you.